The menopause is a liminal space, a realm between worlds. Each step taken on ground once familiar now feels foreign. This is a place where the known self dissolves. It is a time when a woman's emerging spirit glimmers brighter than ever, as the initiation of menopause demands her deepest truths to rise, uncompromising and undeniable. According to pagan traditions, the female life cycle consists of 3 distinct phases. Spring, or maidenhood, representing youth, innocence and the beginnings of life. Summer, motherhood and fertility, when she nurtures children of her own or brings her creative visions to life. And winter, the crone or elder phase, embodying the deep wisdom of later years. However, the menopausal years bridge the gap between mother and crone through a lesser-known archetype and the season of autumn. The Marga, the feminine form of the magician, steps forward once the wise but ruthless goddess of menopause lifts the veil of illusion, allowing the Marga to emerge, transformed and empowered. A deep wisdom emerges with menopause, liberating us from being entangled in our conditioning that taught us to reject our emotions, especially anger, to continually sacrifice ourselves for others and to despise our bodies. The menopause is like a biological rebellion against all of this. But with this transformation also must come a profound farewell to youth. Something that I personally am finding extremely difficult, and I'm going through a deep grieving process. The menopause marks the closing of one life chapter, and I feel like I'm walking into another. In confronting this transition, I find myself face to face with my own mortality, a humbling encounter with time's passage. Most of the women who were burnt as witches were over 50 and were likely to have been menopausal, the time in life when women particularly refuse to be silenced. We carry the trauma of those women within our cells. Their experiences are woven within our DNA. I believe that this inheritance is one of the many reasons for so many women's self-hate. We negate, diminish, and censor ourselves in order to avoid annihilation. We harbour shame for our emotions and our menstrual cycles, and especially for menopause and ageing. but by breaking the cycle of violence directed inwards towards ourselves, we help end women's perpetual oppression. When we face our demons, claim our space, and refuse to shrink into society's dismissal of older women, we change everything. We no longer engage through fear and shame. This transformation ripples outwards, affecting everyone around us and even the paradigm in which we live. The menopausal years are an extraordinarily powerful time, a time to reclaim what was always ours. The menopause has taken me on a profound inner journey into the underworld. The hormonal shifts stripped away my emotional defences, pulled me inward, and exposed a kind of raw truth that I couldn't avoid. Everything I'd clung to, relationships, roles, even parts of myself, began to fall away, and in the wreckage I found something sacred. The void. Menopause opens the gateway to the void. It feels like death, but it's really a portal. For me, it was through this descent and surrendering to the void and allowing it to be what it is, without running away from it, that the healing took place, and I found myself, the most truest, authentic version of myself, and essentially found a really beautiful contentedness, a type of joy and peace that I remember experiencing as a child. I just have this inner acceptance, which has only happened since I went through the menopause and changed my relationship to the void. I just wanted to come on here to say that I don't want to minimise or negate any woman's experience of the menopause, because I know it can be an extremely challenging process. I just wanted to call into question society's assumptions about the menopause. I feel like we've been led to believe that the menopause is just a completely negative thing. Beyond the unpleasant symptoms, there are these really amazing spiritual and psychological changes that happen, which I've found extremely positive, and I just wanted to balance things out with all the negativity around menopause, because I feel like there potentially could be other reasons that the menopause has got such a bad reputation, which hopefully has come across in this video. When I was in the thick of the worst part of the menopause, I made quite a lot of changes to my life, the way I eat, the way I move my body, and it really helped. So I wrote a blog about the changes that I made, and I've linked it below the video here. I've been all the way through it and I've come out on the other side, and I guess I just wanted to make this video to let other women know that once you get through it, it's a very different reality now that hormones aren't sort of skewing my perspective. I feel very clear in the same way that I felt clear when I was a little girl. It's not a purely negative thing. It's, I think, a very profound psycho-spiritual initiation into a completely different stage of life. The menopause has initiated the fastest and most intense process of individuation and integration I have ever experienced. What I mean by this is, I've learnt to welcome back the broken, fractured parts of myself that I've spent my life denying. I can admit I have a dark side. I can be controlling and jealous and manipulative. But I'm also innocent, loving and compassionate. I no longer need to prove I'm good, because trying to banish the bad only gave those parts power over me. Menopause has accelerated this process of accepting and integrating these parts, which feels incredibly liberating and means I'm less likely to act out on them. I don't want to stay stuck in victim mode when I know that I have the capacity to be a perpetrator. We all do. The menopause has helped me hold this paradox and be able to sit with the two truths. Through this process, my intuition speaks to me. It's much louder and easier to interpret than it ever was previously. At night, it speaks through my dreams more coherently, and during the day, it's like a compass that guides my path. My intuition was, of course, always there. It's just that it was much more buried under my conditioning than it is now. In the past, I felt really inhibited about expressing a lot of aspects of myself in my art. But now my intuition has been set free, unleashing everything I couldn't express before. It's as if my creative voice has exploded into life. The menopause has dismantled the blocks that were stifling my intuition, and as a result, my intuition now ignites and fuels my creativity. Very few other species on the planet survive past their reproductive years. Yet we do. I believe this is because post-menopausal women contribute to humanity in profound and powerful ways. We become our most authentic selves, wise, unbound, and finally able to wield our magic in a world that desperately needs our unique power and perspective. Like the tree that transforms through each season, a woman's life unfolds in distinct phases, each phase necessary, each beautiful in its own way. Menopause is not a fading, but a metamorphosis. This is not the end of your significance. It's the beginning of your greatest transformation.